Hi, I'm Jamie, your host for the Not Going to Uni podcast, where we talk all things emerging talent and alternative routes to university. In today's episode, we talk to Keira, a digital marketing apprentice from Girls in Marketing. Hi, Keira. Welcome to the podcast. Did you want to give our audience a bit of an introduction to yourself?
Yeah, hello, thanks for having me. So I'm Keira. I am a social media manager for Girls in Marketing, and I am currently on a degree apprenticeship doing a digital marketing degree. And yeah, just living and breathing social media really.
Keira, it'd be great to get an overview of your journey today and essentially how you've ended up in marketing, really.
Yeah, so I always think my route into marketing is quite untraditional. I don't think anyone's route into marketing is typically like any straightforward way. But essentially, I found out about marketing when I was in sixth form. Well, GCSE sixth form when I was studying business. I loved business, everything about it. I've always been like a creative person, so I've always knew that like wanted to do something creative. Just didn't know what really. And growing up, I was here, there, and everywhere. Like I didn't know whether I wanted to be. One day I wanted to be a police officer. One day I wanted to be a social worker. One day I wanted to be a nail tech. Like I was all over the place. And it's like a running joke within my family of like, wonder what Karen wants to do today. Like I literally was all over the place. So I found marketing out when I was in sixth form. And yeah, just fell in love with it really. I just knew straight away that that was kind of what I wanted to do. It was creative. It kind of was all the aspects of business that I enjoyed. And found out about that when I was in sixth form. Then I found out about degree apprenticeships when I was in sixth form, and I was like, sounds perfect. I need to do one of them. You get the experience, you get the kind of obviously degree for free, which is ideal. And you get to kind of learn on the job really. So I was like sold to them, applied to every single degree apprenticeship in marketing I could see, could get my hands on. Didn't get any of them, got into kind of interview stages a few times, didn't get anywhere. And then I just thought, backup plan, go to uni and study marketing. So I went to University of Huddersfield to study marketing. And during my first year, it was when COVID was happening. So was basically sat in my bedroom all the time doing my degree. Which was obviously hard, you can imagine. And then I started freelancing for Girls in Marketing, who I work for now. I was originally a member of Girls in Marketing, and then kind of found out about a job they had, kind of an admin job. And I thought anything I can get my hands on, I'll go with, like I'll take. So I took that job, started freelancing, and then I think a couple of months later, my boss now basically offered me the chance to transfer onto a degree apprenticeship with them, and it was perfect, everything that I'd kind of been wanting before, and just kind of transitioned from a normal degree to a degree apprenticeship, which I'm on now, and I'm just coming to my final year, and yeah, I'll be finished in December. So that's kind of a whistle stop tour of kind of my career so far. So yeah, loving it.
Amazing. Do you feel like you found your destination now with marketing?
Yeah, I feel like so I'm very much social media based. I love everything to do with social media, like live and breathe it. Possibly too much. My screen time is definitely through the roof. But yeah, I definitely feel like I love everything I do right now. Social media, girls in marketing, like I feel very, very um lucky that I can and privileged that I work for a company that I align with so much and align with the values and everything it stands for so early on in my career, because I know that's not the case for a lot of people.
Absolutely. So, diving into your role a little bit deeper, then, what does a kind of typical day in the life look like for yourself?
Yeah, so so being in marketing, I feel like it's a common running joke of like no typical day is the same, which I love. Like I hate everything about routine. I hate like having like strict kind of things. Obviously, in social media, there's specific things that have to be done on a routinely basis. So like reporting and like a specific amount of posts that you have to create. But no day is the same, and with my job, I kind of get that freedom of picking what I want to do each day, obviously, as long as everything gets done. And yeah, so typically a day in my life is a lot of content creation. So whether that's TikTok, whether that's LinkedIn, whether that's Instagram, a lot of content creation. I think I counted up the other day the amount of posts that go out each day. So there's around like 5 posts, different content pieces. So whether that's videos, a static post, text post on LinkedIn, there's 5 different posts that go out on Girls in Marketing a day. So that's obviously a lot of content ideas, a lot of brainstorming, a lot of reviewing. So yeah, just kind of a lot of my job consists of reviewing, creating, and brainstorming really.
Amazing. And if you were to pinpoint something in marketing, what would be your favourite aspect of the job?
Oh, that's a tricky question because I very much feel like I really enjoy it all. I definitely would say I'm very much a people person. I really enjoy talking to people, and obviously social media is kind of connecting with other people. I think working for Girls in Marketing, I've had the opportunity to meet so many amazing people, amazing women in the space, and I definitely feel like people is kind of my favorite aspect. I feel like yeah, just talking to people, finding out about people's stories, their journey, what advice they have. I definitely feel like people is kind of the heart of everything I do.
Yeah. And I guess to dive into Girls in Marketing a little bit more in terms of your offering to our audience that's maybe listening today, can you give us a bit more information about that and how it helps maybe young marketers looking to get into the industry?
So, Girls in Marketing essentially is a learning platform and community for marketers. Essentially, our mission is kind of based around the fact that typically there is more women in marketing, but more men get into the seniority of marketing, the senior positions, so like the head ofs, the director roles, and obviously there's a lot of gender inequality in marketing. So essentially, our mission is to kind of break down that gender seniority, kind of work to help women get into them more senior roles. And so far, like every day is basically a step forward in terms of breaking down them barriers, kind of speaking with employers onto why training opportunities are essential, especially for the women in the team. And yeah, so Girls in Marketing, there's so much that we do. Sometimes it's like, where do you even start with Girls in Marketing? But essentially, our kind of core kind of what I would recommend to anyone is our membership. So the Girls in Marketing membership. So you can sign on for like a monthly membership or an annual membership. And that's how I actually found out about Girls in Marketing. In the first place, I was a Girls in Marketing member before I worked there. And that was when I was in my first year at uni, and kind of everything, it helped me with every aspect of uni, really, like learning more about marketing, but also excuse me, connecting with people in the space, because that was kind of, I was quite limited at uni with how many people I could meet. So networking, the community side, the resources, like there's so much that you can get involved with in the membership. But also, if you don't want to join the membership, you feel like the membership's not for you, just getting involved on social. We post so much on social about marketing, about updates, about all different things. And we've recently we did a internship program last year that was amazing. So many people got involved. There's like thousands of people that got involved, and we've just announced today, actually, it's gone out, that called the Digital Marketing Internship Program. So we're bringing it back for 2023, and that's an amazing opportunity for any aspiring marketers or anyone wanting to learn more about marketing to get involved with. Like, it's a totally free program, and you just kind of have to apply and get accepted. And yeah, so it's going to be in September, and we're going to run 3 different sessions. And I'm actually running one of the sessions this year, so
Amazing.
that should be interesting. Hopefully that'll do well. So yeah, there's so much to get involved with, and it's kind of just picking wherever you are in your career, whatever you want to get involved with, really.
That's great. And in terms, other than obviously signing up to Girls in Marketing's membership, is there a single bit of advice, or it might be more than one piece of advice, that you'd give to either young marketers looking to get into the industry, but also maybe that older generation that is maybe looking at a career change into marketing? Is there any kind of advice you'd have for those two sets of people?
Yeah, I'd definitely say for both sets, kind of just take any opportunity you can. It seems kind of like the given advice, but I think sometimes the kind of benefits of an opportunity aren't as kind of explicit as they can be. Like, I feel like sometimes you might, so for example, for me, I took an admin role for Girls in Marketing as a freelancer, and I thought hopefully this will help me get in. It's an admin role, it wasn't anything to do with marketing technically, it was just in the back end, and that kind of led me to meet all these new people, get involved with Girls in Marketing a bit more. So I think as long as you can kind of see that there are some benefits, I think it's always worth taking an opportunity if you can, even though it might not be very clear what benefits they can bring to your career. I definitely say the career changes as well. It's just trying to find that time, because I understand that obviously a bit further down in your career you don't have a lot of time if you're working a full-time job compared to a student. So I think it's just connecting with people and just putting yourself out there, asking people like for advice, asking for opportunities, asking if you can come and, I don't know, work, shadow someone in the office one day, because the worst people can say is no. So I think once you adopt that mindset of like the worst that can happen is you get a no or you get rejected and you just move on to the next thing, I think that's when you're going to be more successful. Yeah.
You know, that's really useful advice. Thanks, Keira. I guess taking a rewind back to your when you're at school, whether that was obviously in your GCSEs or into sixth form or college, where the pathway you chose, how did you kind of find the transition from school into the workplace?
So I feel like this isn't taught, like, I don't know about you, but I feel like this isn't spoke about nearly enough. Like, I found the transition from being a student to um, working in a full-time role really, really difficult. I think I didn't let on to how difficult it was at first, because no one talks about it. No one kind of says it's okay to struggle or it's okay to find like you're not doing well at things. But I think that transition is a massive one and something that people should definitely be aware of. Obviously I wouldn't want to talk about it too much to like an extent of people like terrified to go into full-time work.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's I did a LinkedIn post recently actually about it, and so many people on that were saying this is exactly how I felt. Like everyone feels it, no one talks about it. So I think it is definitely difficult, but it's something that happens obviously to everyone. And I think the more you work at things, the more you're in that role, the more you get used to working in a situation, a business, a role. Like, I think you get better naturally, don't you? So I think it's very hard, but I think you definitely ease into it as the weeks go on.
Yeah, absolutely. And just on LinkedIn quickly, I follow yourself. You put out some great content. I think people are getting younger in terms of going onto LinkedIn and engaging with whether that be others, whether it's in their class or people they work with, but also employers and standing out from the crowd. How has that kind of helped you build your personal brand over time and ultimately given you opportunities that you may be using today?
So I was always I went to sixth form in 2018 to 2020. So throughout sixth form, it was hammered into me like get LinkedIn, get LinkedIn, get LinkedIn. So I got LinkedIn, didn't post anything on there, and I think that's the best kind of way to suss it out. To kind of don't go in there and just post because you're told to post. I think it's best to have a gradual approach, because and then you can kind of suss it out for yourself. So I didn't post from like the first 4 years or something I had it. But once I'd had it, got connected with a few people, I started using it really when I was in my first year at uni, just posting stuff about like projects I'd had or like anything that had happened at uni. And it's very, I think personal branding as a whole on LinkedIn is very new, isn't it? But there's more and more people posting on there, and I think the opportunities on there now are huge. So I would definitely say to anyone thinking about it, definitely follow some good creators, follow pages like Girls in Marketing that give them personal branding advice. but also just don't be afraid to kind of post and put your stuff out there. The only thing I would say is I definitely am a huge advocate for consistency. It isn't posting every day. It's kind of showing up with quality content as and when you have it, because the ideas don't come every day, and I think posting sometimes for the sake of it just isn't the right way to approach it. But I definitely would say that girls in marketing, working for girls in marketing, obviously we've got a huge following, so that's kind of a huge part of kind of my following on there has to be attributed to that, and the following that girls in marketing has. It's definitely not been the whole self self-inflicted following, but yeah, I definitely enjoy posting on there, and LinkedIn is my favorite platform overall. I think it's very positive, but yeah, I do enjoy it.
That's great. And I guess fast forward yourself then in 5 years' time, and I know that's kind of a scary thing to think about, and a lot of people now don't think about it, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Have you got a plan? Do you think that far ahead?
See, I'm very much a take every day as it comes. I wish I had a 5-year plan, but I, I don't. So I'm very much a set goals, but adapt your goals as you go. I think I do always like to set goals in terms of like, I don't know, I want to achieve this like this by this point. But I also think as you kind of develop, and the goals that you set kind of at the start of the year might not be relevant now, and like they could change and stuff. So I definitely feel like in 5 years I want to be obviously progress more in my career. I want to progress more in personal branding. I would also like to kind of have a head of role, whether that's, I don't know, head of social media, head of marketing. And yeah, I definitely would like to see kind of girls in marketing as like the industry leader, as like the biggest, I don't know, marketing podcast ever, the biggest marketing community. And yeah, it's really exciting thinking about the future, but also scary because it will be here soon. So yeah, I'm definitely I don't think about the future too much, but very ambitious.
Yeah. I guess into the girls in marketing side again, and you joining obviously as a freelance, but then ultimately going into a full time role. I think a lot of apprentices also worry about the social side as well. Was that anything that you were kind of worried about or you've experienced?
Yeah, I think I've always been a person who just kind of gets on with it and just doesn't tries not to worry too much. Don't get me wrong, I do obviously have worries sometimes, but I think I've always been someone who's like I'll sacrifice sleep for, like, I'll work through the night for an assignment at uni or whatever. So I've always I'm the person who, like, I will literally only submit a uni deadline from like an assignment the date, like the minute before the deadline, because I'm like just getting things done and like trying to like edit and stuff. So yeah, I definitely think the social side is kind of a negative because there is all like so much going on, but I also think the social side can be turned into a positive because of like networking opportunities, and like obviously not going to uni, they have a massive community of apprentices that you can connect with, and um yeah, like talk to about these struggles and stuff. So I feel like the social side isn't, like, it can be dealt with, and I definitely think there's periods of your apprenticeship that the social side will have to be sacrificed a little bit more than other times. But I think that all comes with an apprenticeship, and it's worth it for the kind of qualification you get at the end.
Yeah, amazing. And as we wrap up today's podcast, a last question for yourself, and it's a bit of a weird one because you're still young. Is there any advice that you'd give to your younger self, obviously aspiring marketers coming through as well that may listen to this podcast? Have you got any advice for them that you wish you had maybe a couple of years ago that you now know?
Um, I feel like this question is always a weird one, isn't it? Because I feel like I'm the sort of person, if me now was talking to my younger self would be like, "Shut up, I know what I'm doing." Do you know, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely would say for advice for younger people is just to trust the process. Like, if you keep working at what you're doing, you keep focusing yourself and keep kind of just being kind of consistent and showing up, I think trust the process. You will get there. You will get to wherever you want to be. and everything. I'm always a big believer of like everything happens for a reason. Again, quite cringy, but I do think everything happens for a reason. And even you might be in a position right now that you don't kind of understand why it's happening, but I definitely think it becomes apparent the more you go on in your career. So
Yeah, showing up 1% each day, be consistent. Is that your kind of advice there?
100%, 100%.
Amazing. Well, that's everything for today's podcast. Thank you, Keira, for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for your time. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out each episode on your chosen streaming platform and head over to the Not Going to Uni website to start your future career.